the heck is running the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen? Who, right? Can the FBI tell us? Not really. Watch.
Okay, so when did you notice his decline?
In my interactions, in my role, all my interactions with the current president have been completely professional.
Right, but I mean the cognitive decline. I'm not saying he treated you unprofessionally, just maybe not picking things up as quickly as he used to.
Again, I don't meet with him very often, but what you're describing is not something that I've observed during my interactions with him.
I mean, we've had it observed so often that the ranking member and Mr. Schiff on this committee have said that he could no longer continue as a candidate. And so, since you're the FBI director, I was just sort of wondering, like, who's running the country? Like if something bad happened, you'd have to go brief President Biden about it right now? God forbid?
And on any number of occasions, I have briefed the president, and as I said, those briefings have all been uneventful and unremarkable.
Oh, I can imagine them being uneventful. But in the work where the vice president's also present, like you say, there's like more than half the time there's these briefings, she's there too?
I don't know if I said more than half the time. Certainly, there have been times where she's been present. There have been other times where she hasn't.
I take you at your word when you say this is the most complicated threat environment you've ever observed over a long career in law enforcement. And I'm just kind of wondering, with this assassination attempt, with the invasion at our border, with all the Hamas that have been let in that you've talked about and briefed about, like, is Biden up to it? And if he's not up to it, and you're a guy who's been regularly briefing him, like, who's been in on this conspiracy to hide the real Joe Biden from all of us for years? It never occurred to you that this guy wasn't up to it in all these briefings you did?
As I said, my briefings with the president have all been completely fine.
Were they between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.?
He's asked questions. There hasn't been anything of note in the area that you're talking about.
Yeah, did you ever have to brief him before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m.? We hear those are his good hours.
I've certainly times that I have briefed have included outside those hours.
Right. Okay. I think the American people want to know how we got to this point with someone who's so diminished his own party has basically put him out to pasture. And since you had close proximity and the vice president had close proximity, I'm just kind of wondering if you were being straight with all of us about how things were going with him. I guess we'll have to figure that out.
You can count on me.
I don't know. Can we really count on him? I mean, I don't have a whole lot of faith, shall we say, in many people in this administration, particularly the FBI or the U.S. Secret Service, in light of what just went down. We can talk about more of that in a second. But here's a question for you. If the president is okay, then why isn't he running for another 4 years? I mean, how does that work? You want to talk about the threat to democracy. Like, can we just be perfectly honest? Perfectly transparent? They had a guy that was elected by the American Democrat Party, and they just threw him out to pasture. We all knew that he wasn't playing with a full deck, but they told us over here, Trish Regan, oh, that's fake news when you're running the clips of him showing how clearly incapacitated he was and is. No, that was somehow my fault, or your fault for thinking that he was somehow not all there. So they kept this mirage going until the mirage doesn't really working for them anymore because they saw the polls and the handwriting was on the wall and Donald Trump was going to win. So what did they do then? They pulled the plug. But he's still standing. I mean, wow. I've been traveling. I was on a plane overnight. I'm looking at the news feed and the rumors and the rumors and the rumors. They keep coming, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be careful what you report these days. I'm very careful. And I always want to triple source anything before I bring it to you. But I'm looking at this stuff going, whoa, what is up? And part of the problem you see is when you create a void of information and you don't have any information coming forward and you say, do what Joe Biden did and you just resign via Twitter, or you're going to get some questions, as you should. But this may tell us more than you think. It may actually tell us he's not very happy with how things are going down. And so he wasn't out there, with all the fanfare saying, woohoo, I'm leaving, vote for Kamala. I mean, he's going to give us an appearance tonight. We'll see what that turns out to be.